some taller receivers, but they have no hands. So you get somebody that opens it up for Marquise Brown a little bit more. I'm not calling him Hollywood till he learn how to catch again. But, we can look at somebody help out Hollywood over there. Help Lamar get some more weapons because they got the tight ends.
Yeah,
that's probably one of their strengths is the tight end position. So you got your good tight end. You have Brown, and then you can add a Bateman there as well. So I like that. And then the running game is the running game. We already
running game is the running game. It's going to be there again. I love a possible receiver pick, and we can go all day and decide who we think the pick will be. But only one man knows right now, and that is Jonathan Davis. Jonathan, who do the Baltimore Ravens select with the 27th pick in the NFL draft?
With the 27th pick in the NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Rashad Bateman, receiver out of Minnesota. I definitely think that, he made a good point about the O-line being in need with them trading Orlando Brown, but I think you're already picking from the second tier of offensive linemen anyway. I think when you look at who picks right after the Ravens, you have the Saints, who lost Emmanuel Sanders in the offseason and have never really had a consistent threat on the other side of Michael Thomas. And then you have the Packers, who all has been made about them never drafting a receiver in the first round, and Aaron Rodgers being so unhappy he had to go host Jeopardy. So that may be a spot for them to take a receiver as well. So like Des said, he's 6'2", 210. Arguably the best route runner in the draft outside of Devontae Smith. I think he can come in and be a security blanket for Lamar, easily create separation, get open with his smooth routes, give him a big body, and just somebody he can trust. You have Mark Andrews, who is probably his number one target. You have Hollywood Brown, but he's not built like a number one receiver. I think Rashad Bateman is built like a number one receiver. I think he has the professionalism, the football character to come right in and contribute right away in Baltimore.
Well, we love it. Bateman, a big receiver guy, right? A guy we figure will come off the board maybe around this time now, not the early second. Lamar finally gets his guy where he doesn't have to make so many plays using his legs. I love it. Des, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, again, I made the pick, and he followed it up with me. So I think we're on the same page here. Just to be honest, on the real life situation, for whatever reason, they seem to want to avoid wide receiver. I don't know why. Now, they did go get Sammy Watkins, but I don't see Sammy Watkins being the long-term option.
The long-term.
That's a bridge player. So I think Bateman really is the right pick here. That's probably the best.
And we can kind of look at it like Sammy Watkins has nice size on him. We love Rashad Bateman at 6'2", and then when you got your speed guy Hollywood Brown, I think this newly retooled receiving course for Jackson. I just need Jackson at this point be a quarterback. Come out here and make the plays, make the throws. We had a couple accuracy issues, Lamar. Now we expect that to get better as time goes on. He's not going to be a quarterback, top three, and it's just his first couple years. But we know he can definitely get there. So I definitely love the pick. Definitely love what Rashad Bateman can definitely bring to that team. Is who that time, man? The New Orleans Saints. It's a lot that surrounds this team right now, and a possible dark cloud that hopefully does not get darker. But any team that's led by Sean Payton, I believe, will be just fine. Des, what do the Saints need to do at this pick?
Now, this is an interesting pick. I got to make sure I get it right. My boy Darian Gray is over here. He's watching. I got to make sure I get it right for my man D. All right, because if I don't, he going to blow up my phone. I can't believe you made that pick. Can't have that, man. Can't have that. So, okay, this is a real interesting situation. They need a corner. But more than that, they need a receiver. Mike can't keep doing it by himself. We saw how they struggle without Mike Thomas being on the field. Yeah, of course, you still have the greatness of Drew Brees, so that's Drew Brees, but that's over with now. That's over with now. All the quarterbacks are going to replace him, so Jameis Winston, it's a quarterback, a quarterback competition. But
allegedly.
But, Sean Payton ain't crazy. We all know that. So Sean Payton ain't crazy. So with that, this might be where your boy Terrace Marshall gets off the board. This might be where, and again, Rondale Moore is still there too. So interesting situation. I'm thinking wide receiver, get Mike Thomas some help. Can't do it by himself. You can't rely on Alvin Kamara to be your number two receiver all the time. Get him some help. Especially since you don't have the match with Drew Brees anymore. You want to get either, whether it's Winston or Tim Tebow Jr., you want to make sure they get some type of help.
Well, when these SOS picks dropped to the broadcasters, we would have thought that the fans would not get to choose their favorite team's picks, but somehow Darian Gray ended up with the pick for the New Orleans Saints. So
See, I didn't know that. I really didn't know that.
I just happened to look down and I was like, you know what? Darian got this Saints pick. So if that's the case, my man is going to be able to make this pick for his own team. I think the rest of my guys going to be mad because they didn't get the Cowboys pick. And, they was kind of heated about that. And I didn't
I didn't get Carolina either. So I feel now,
we thought we was just kind of trying to mix it up. But Darian got lucky. But Darian, go ahead, man. Bring us into the 28th pick. Who did the New Orleans Saints select in the 2021 NFL Draft?
With the 28th pick in the 2020 draft, the New Orleans Saints select Terrace Marshall Jr., wide receiver, LSU. So I don't know who Dez been talking to, but it's 2 in a row. I know Dez for a while. Look, you ain't that good. You ain't got Rashad Terrace Marshall. You've been stealing my notes. But that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that later, man. When I look at Terrace Marshall Jr., I would have loved to get a cornerback because that's the number one need for the Saints. But just like the offensive linemen, the cornerbacks went fast. So instead of reaching, I decided to get Marshall. I thought he was a great value. With the NFL players talking about opting out and not having a true offseason with OTAs, opting out of the voluntary OTAs, I think Marshall working in that LSU system that is similar to New Orleans would ease the transition for him. I'm looking at a receiver who can work at all 3 levels and gives the Saints a little bit of run after the catchability, something that their current runner receivers does not have. So I like him on the other side of Michael Thomas. I think he brings another dynamic, and we're going to see what the offense looks like with Jameis Winston, but I know I want to inject some new blood into that wide receiver room as well.
Well, we certainly got his highlights up so you can see how he was moving at his combine. Terrace Marshall is a guy for the New Orleans Saints. They get a guy who can go vertical, he can go deep, he can stretch the field if he needs to, and he's got a badass catch radius alongside Mike T. Do you love the pick, Dez?
Yeah, obviously. And correction, okay? Yeah, it's 2 in a row, but I got 4. So I'm doing something right over here. All right? All right? I'm on the 5th floor. All right? I don't know what you're talking about, okay? So, but honestly, I really do. Obviously, like I said, I made the pick as well. I really like this. Again, when you don't have the magic of a Drew Brees, of a Tom Brady, of a Peyton Manning, you need receivers that can help your quarterback be better as well as a quarterback that can help your receivers be better. So I think this is that joint situation of giving, I believe, Winston a second chance here and putting weapons around him.
Love it and love the pick most of all. We're going to go ahead and segue this to those Green Bay Packers. The question is, honestly, with this team is how do you not tick Aaron Rodgers off by whatever pick that you do that possibly with all the receivers being gone, you spoke on Rondale Moore a couple of times now since we started the show. If he's not the pick here, where else do you possibly go? I mean, do you want to get some interior help on the D-line with Christian Barmore or Jason Oweh? I believe if he hasn't got selected, he could still be on the board. I mean, what do you do if you're Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, so this is one of those, again, another one of those interesting picks. They need a corner. But now it's like, okay, are we reaching for a corner? Should we wait? Should we have, traded up to get one at this point? And don't be surprised if Green Bay makes a way to trade up to get a corner. But
right, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be, especially because they do have Kevin King, but that was only a 1-year deal. Yeah. It's only a 1-year deal. So obviously, there's some moves they can make there. Like you said, Jason Oweh is still there, who I think is still one of the best players available on the draft board. Do they draft that way as well? Wide receiver, you can never hurt going wide receiver. But they do have a top 5 wide receiver on the team, so getting him some, and they have guys who also. And
that's one thing I do want to speak on. I do want to speak on that right quick before we make this next pick. I don't think people give the Packers receivers that they already have enough credit. I think Lazard and Valdez-Scantling played very, very well last year. And they were selected fairly high when they were drafted. I just felt that they needed more time to come along, and you don't expect guys to be just like a number 1 receiver. If you're not selected in the top 10, top 15, they're not going to come on strong from the beginning. But if you give them time, they're going to fit well into the system. I think Aaron Rodgers has a decent, legit receiving core, but it does not help.
Receiving core allows you to go elsewhere. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, again, they need a receiver, sure, or they want to. They don't need – when you have, again, the magic of a quarterback like that level of quarterback that you have in Aaron Rodgers, he can make it work with the receivers he has. But he's already proven that, because all last year was, we thought he was done, and then boom. He was throwing it to somebody. So obviously that's not the issue. Go get help. Go get, again, defensive help. You can't go wrong with Oweh. Can't go wrong with getting the corner. There are some, again, you can go interior here as well. I think this goes defense for the Packers.
Hot Take Trey's got the pick, and the hot seat is on the Green Bay Packers in this NFL draft. Trey Stein, you have the floor, my friend. Who did the Green Bay Packers select in this year's draft?
They call me Hot Take Trey for a reason, man. With the 29th pick in the NFL draft, the Green Bay Packers. Y'all say they don't need wide receiver? Well, they about to get a wide receiver. We're going to take that speed burner out of Ole Miss, Elijah Moore, put him in the slot, run a 4-3. If you look at Green Bay offense, it comes from the Sean McVay offense. They like to fly sweeps and stuff. They've been looking for that part of their offense with the last year with Tyler Irvin. They signed Tavon Austin. You put Elijah Moore in that role, put him in the slot, give him a legit speed threat to open the offense for Devontae Adams. And, man, you keep Aaron Rodgers happy, dog. Like, y'all made him mad last year. Keep my boy happy. Get him some speed.
Boom, there you go. You get the speed receiver, Elijah Moore. Is Aaron Rodgers a happy man come draft day?
I mean, I think he's always happy when he gets another weapon. I guess I'm kind of I want Trey to get back to me on this one. Why you skip Rondale?
Yeah, Trey, go. Trey, speak on that, Trey.
That's the only thing I'm wondering, because I know Elijah Moore was gonna come off soon, but I thought,
I skip Rondale, man. Elijah Moore, what he did, bro, in the SEC, 150 yards a game, man. He in a better conference, and he was more durable than Rondale. Rondale stayed hurt a lot. I think Elijah in the SEC proved he could take a beating. And he did good after his whole incident in the Egg Bowl with the dog celebration. He came back a mature man the next season and put 150 a game.
That's all I'm gonna say on the injury thing. Another Ole Miss receiver. You said Rondale Moore from Purdue was injury prone. Well, this other receiver out of Ole Miss, like Elijah Moore, was injury prone too, and now he looks like one of the best young receivers in the league, and DK Metcalf. So when you get to that NFL level, things change. That's all I'm gonna say. But I do hear where you're coming from.
Well, this would be our first, I guess, sort of jump that a team would make going to get a guy like Elijah Moore, especially now a guy like Rondale. A really premier receiver at this late in the draft is still available for someone to choose. Hey, you add to what the Packers already have. You finally get a first-round receiver. Aaron Rodgers can actually go home and say they actually did that for me once in my whole career. Trey's been biting on the Packers getting a receiver anyway, so I should have known that he was going to force the issue regardless of what happened. Make sure that the guys in green and yellow got them a wide receiver. Let's talk about a team that could use another one too, but maybe not. They may go defense. The Buffalo Bills are up next. Look, when I look at this team, for some reason, Christian Barmore just kind of jumps out to me. I look at the Bills, a team that loves to get nasty on defense. We saw what they did last year. They were just a play away from being able to get as far as they did in the NFL playoffs, but unfortunately, they fell short. Is Barmore a guy that can help them get some pressure? Do they need another receiver opposite Stephon Diggs? Where do you think that they should go with this?
Okay, we talked about hot take. Now, the Buffalo Bills are what Twitter calls Carolina North, all right? Because literally their whole team, Brandon Beane, former Panthers, their head coach, he built, Sean McDermott built the 2015 Panthers Super Bowl team off of defense. It was defense and Cam Newton. That's all it was. So with this one, I'm telling you right now, always off the board right here. If you didn't make that pick, change it right now. Oweh is off the board right here. Edge rusher, AFC Championship game with the Chiefs having no O-line whatsoever. They get one sack. One sack.
Well, the only man who's going to be able to determine that for us, Des, is Jonathan Davis. He's made all the right picks so far. But
see, this is the right man. See, Jonathan think like I do. I trust Jonathan right here, man.
That's our expectations. And hey, lightning struck twice. Let's see if it strikes a third time. Jonathan Davis, take it away. Who do the Buffalo Bills take at 30?
With the 30th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Travis Etienne, running back, Clemson. And I know they really could use some defense right here. But I think that as far as the value, maybe even Christian Barmore, but the value you're getting for a defensive player right here just isn't great. You're talking about Oweh, but he's coming off a season where he had 0 sacks at Penn State. I think you look at Travis Etienne, who is an explosive playmaker in the running game and in the passing game. He has the championship pedigree also coming from Clemson. I think that you're giving Brian Daboll, one of the best play designers and offensive coordinators in the league, a great talent. We saw last year the Bills struggled to run the ball all year. I think Devin Singletary and Zach Knox are decent pieces, but I think you get a first-round talent in Travis Etienne that can really come in and transform that running back room and transform that offense that was already unstoppable. So I think you take one of the best players on the board at a huge need that the production and the need matches. Whereas, like you said, with the edge rushers and the defensive players, you're taking projects at this point. I don't think Travis Etienne is a project. I think he's a day one starter.
Well, if you watch this guy in the national championship a year ago, you saw how hard this guy went. A very good guy that could catch out of the backfield, a good running back, selected before Najee Harris, but I can't argue that at all. It really sounds good. And let's look at Josh Allen. And the same thing we have to say about Lamar Jackson. What do we need to do to not put so much stress on our quarterback to have to make plays with his legs? Josh Allen did that a lot last year, but he got better throwing the ball as well. But hey, it doesn't look. John is a check down guy. John does not mind taking a check down if you have to, and Etienne can do that for the Buffalo Bills. What's your take on this?
Well, all I know is I hear, and what he's saying is right. They did struggle in the running game for sure, especially with Zach Moss coming on and off the injury list, Devin Singletary not being able to get his feet on him the way you wanted him to. But they went out and added Matt Breida as well. They went out and got Matt Breida. They got another running back. But I heard you saying about Etienne being the first round talent for sure. It's definitely there. Harris the same way. So I see what you're doing, and you can't go wrong with that pick. I feel like as long as it pans out. But I don't know right there, man. I think defense again. When you go to the AFC Championship game, based off your offense, based off the way your corners played and everything else, and you can't get one sack on Patty Mahomes, and not because they were getting the ball out that fast. You just couldn't provide pressure, and they had no line. I got to go get some help on that defensive line somewhere, interior, exterior, somewhere. I need some help.
Well, we'll double back if we have to. You know, again, in the second round, there's some talent that is there, but damn, I didn't think Etienne would even be the pick here, but I love it now that John is kind of broken down that the Buffalo Bills definitely struggled in the running game, especially when they were looking at a guy like Zach to be there for them before he was hurt in the playoffs. And Devin Singletary's been okay, but he's not RB1. So you need to go get RB1, give him the ball, and hey, we're looking at a guy much like the Kansas City Chiefs running back. It's right on tip of my tongue. Young guy who they drafted last year. Dez.
From Lord Jesus. Now you got me missing.
I know, but we on the same page though.
Yeah.
We on the same. Young buck. But he puts me in the mind of him when I think about Etienne, a guy that can take Edwards Helaire. Same type of guy, same type of skill set that can be used. I love the pick here for the Buffalo Bills. So we're doubling back to the Baltimore Ravens. Orlando Brown is out. The 31st pick is in, and the Ravens get 2 for 1 in this year's draft. What do you think? I mean, they got their receiver earlier. Is this probably where we go defense? Get some more help?
Hold on, one more time. You said Ravens?
Yeah, they traded. Right.
My bad. Yeah, you're right. So you're looking at defense still because you got your receiver. You know, you got your receiver, and you still have the Sammy Watkins addition as well for 1 year. So they're good there. They got to continue to build on that defense. This is where, again, like we said, edge rushers.
Christian Barmore is still there.
Yeah, I would say you got Barmore and you got always between them two at this point. And we know they like to build on that defense. They really like to build on that defense. So definitely going there. I feel like I have a broken record now with Oweh. Someone's going to take over. All right.
Somebody got to take Oweh, man. He is slipping. But, I mean, again, with all of these edge rushers that's on the board, man, people are taking premier guys. But Anthony Martin is going to determine if Oweh is going to stay. He's going to get drafted here, or is he going to fall with the 31st pick in this year's NFL draft? Young God ATM, who is the pick?
All right. From Atlanta, Georgia. With the 31st pick taken from the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens select Jayson Oweh, Penn State. We got to fortify that defense. We have to give ourselves a chance in a very powerhouse, dynamic, offensive-happy AFC with quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, quarterbacks like Josh Allen, quarterbacks like Ben Roethlisberger, and some of the new young bucks like Burrow and Tua, and especially with Trevor Lawrence going in the first pick, we need to make sure that we are prepared. So, Jayson Oweh, Penn State.
Mute. You're on mute.
We love the pick. Thank you, Anthony, for that. Sorry, guys, being on mute on that one. Jayson Oweh is finally off. We've been looking for the last 3-4 picks already, but he's finally come off the board. Again, if you're going to draft anything, you need to look at your rivals in your division, in your conference, see what you need to do to be able to match up with them. Is Jayson Oweh going to be the guy at this pick?
Yeah, I believe Jayson Oweh really is a very good, talented player that can come in, can play right out the gate, can get on the end and do what they do, especially with a team that you have the linebackers, but they're actually replacing people already. So you have nothing to lose here with drafting that edge rusher. And again, a quality one. He did struggle last year, like Jonathan Davis said, but they also lost a lot of players last year. He has help. He wanted to come in and be the guy. He just has to come in and add on to that defense and make plays. And keep in mind, they do well when they draft linebackers and edge rushers. Baltimore is very, very good at that.
They always have. They almost had
a defensive rookie of the year last year. It was between Chase Young, Jeremy Chin, and Lord. I'm like you, man. I'm going blank on names, but
and make it happen. Look, we're in the deep part of the draft.
Yeah, we're going.
We're trying to go.
Yeah,
but I get you.
But yeah, no, still really. So they know how to that running that 3-4 that they do. Edge rushers and the linebackers always seem to perform in the Ravens defense. So yeah, I think Oweh is a good pick here.
Moving on to the very last pick in our SOS mock draft, led by Teflon Tom. Tom Bizzle took him to the Super Bowl no sooner than he stepped on the field. What type of help do they even need at this point that isn't TB12? When we can look on their offense, they're stacked. We can look at defense, they're stacked. Barmore is still there. Where's the talent still left out in this first round of the draft? It's the last pick, so you pretty much get in the second round. Could they get somebody in the second who we didn't even expect? Maybe, more safety help, maybe more corner help. I mean, Newsome and those guys are still there. What do you think that the Buccaneers even need to once again go back to the Super Bowl, which we're probably expecting this year?
So what makes Tampa so tough with this pick is that they really are. They brought back all 22 starters, the first team to ever do that in the modern Super Bowl era. So they have everything, obviously. So they just won a Super Bowl with the same team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's really crazy. They could. When I say
it, you get real speechless when you try to talk about what does the Super Bowl team need to already be great.
But they could also go, like I said, D lineman. Your boy can go off right now. This is where he can come off the board. I wouldn't be surprised if they add a receiver here. Chris Godwin's only on a 1-year deal. They brought him back, but it's only a 1-year deal. And a lot of players took that because of the small amount of money, because of COVID, because of the shorter season, all that.
And let's speak about it right quick. What could Tom do with a little slot guy, a little gadget guy like Rondale Moore?
Exactly where I was going with that. We know how he makes average receivers look good. He makes rookies look good. It's still Brady, man. And he likes to get the ball out fast, quick. He's not trying to hold on to it, throw it 40 yards. First of all, his arm doesn't do that as much as he used to. Yeah. So definitely can see Rondale Moore going here. Him getting that wide receiver to help him out a little bit more. And you, in the league that we're in, you can never have too many quality receivers.
Well, we got this 32nd pick, Jazz, and I think it's in the best hands of the mouth of the South, the guy that knows more about the NFC South than anybody I know. Darian Gray, man, we believe in you, bro. Who do the Bucks, the Super Bowl champion Bucks, the defending champion Bucks, who do they take at the 32nd pick of the NFL draft?
With the 32nd pick in the NFL draft, the 21 NFL draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Christian Barmore, defensive tackle, Alabama. I think that you could really go anyway. It's like you guys said, you returned all 22 starters. I thought about adding the edge guy, JPP getting older, but so is Ndamukong Suh. So that's why I decided to go there and put Christian Barmore right there. I just think that what do you give a man who has everything, right? That's what they ask. So it's one of those things where the rich get richer. I think that Christian Barmore, he stepped up in the national championship game. You see him with a little bit of pass rush ability. I think he's still raw. But with the defensive line that they have, you're allowed to be a little bit raw because you're going to have some time to come in and work. And I think that's something that a lot of people should look forward to. They might take a developmental prospect at 32, especially along the defensive line, because they understand that they have the front line talent to be able to allow these guys to develop a little bit. So that's what I'm going with. Christian Barmore, defensive tackle, Alabama.
Well, the being the 32nd pick isn't all that bad, Des, because you kind of get put in the best position that any player could be in, where you don't have to start right off the bat in year one. You get time to develop behind a Super Bowl winning team, and you got Tom Brady. What's better than that? Christian Barmore failed, so I think he's a steal at 32 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you say, Des?
Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all. Like we've all kind of said it. You can go anywhere here, but I think the top two needs really were getting that wide receiver with, you might lose Godwin, and also, William Golston is 29 years old, and Ndamukong Suh is 34. So you really can't lose with doing this and going to get that, maybe the next guy up. So if there is an injury, because again, it's the NFL, maybe somebody you can plug and play after week 5, week 6, week 7, let's start really getting comfortable in the NFL. And again, not to say he couldn't start right out the gate, but you're not taking anybody's spot.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. So no, I like that pick. I think that's a pretty solid pick. What I will say, I'm gonna let you get away with something, because you said the only person who knows NFC South more. The only person I'm gonna let you say can get away with that is Green Bay. That's the only person I'm gonna, because if I'm here, NFC South is mine, but I will say
his Twitter literally says "mouth of the South." And when we all met Darian the first time, he was covering the NFC South. Yeah. So look, we know Dez, we know you in the running.
Oh no! Like I said, the only person I'll let you get away with that is Darian Gray. I'm telling you.
Look, he got lucky twice today, man. He got to do 2 NFC South picks, and then he had the Saints pick on top of that. Right. I'll make sure it don't happen again for next year. But no, we love it. We love the pick. Christian Barmore is the guy. Definitely think he's going to be able to add, obviously, a young presence to this to an aging defensive line. But again, he gets the reps. He gets time to get better. He does not have to be the guy right away. And how much more can I say about Tom Brady and that team possibly going to be in the Super Bowl again? We don't know. We're going to see. But that is it. Right before we get ready to close this out, we're going to bring on the guys to talk about how they think this draft went. Des will speak over the overall draft with everyone. Definitely a lot of good picks here. Nothing that we thought was too questionable today. I think everything today was really good as far as the picks and where everybody placed everyone. Thought everything was fair. Guys, talk to us. Darian, John, Trey, how do y'all feel about today's draft?
Before I talk about today's draft, I want to talk to Roger real quick. Hey man, I ain't appreciate you, Tevin Jenkins. I ain't appreciate that. I watched that whole draft and I thought for sure Tevin Jenkins was gonna fall right into my lap for Tennessee, and he didn't. That's on you. But you know what? Let's focus on my guys today. I thought that the best pick that I didn't make. I'm feel confident about my pick. My picks are great, but I thought the best one that I didn't make was John picking Travis Etienne to Buffalo. I thought that was very underrated. I thought that was very underrated. I think that you look at them and you have a great quarterback, one who took a huge leap, and I think will take another leap by only adding Emmanuel Sanders, which they've done a great job building a receiving core every year around Josh Allen. I think that you look at him, the next step is to be able to balance out that offense to where you don't have to depend on him at every moment. And Travis Etienne is a guy who can run the ball for you, catch it for you, and it doesn't hurt to be able to run the ball. And they got a good offensive line to go with it. I think that's a great fit.
John, Trey?
I think the most questionable pick after this week medicals was Terrace Marshall to New Orleans, because he has a knee issue. They don't know. He might got a Brandon Roy issue where he might not play that long. So he was on my board, but I was happy when he took him because I like Elijah more to Green Bay at speed. And then Greg Newsome going earlier. I wanted to give him to Pittsburgh because I think Pittsburgh. I just think Pittsburgh need defense. Everybody wants them to get a running back, but like they when they had a good offensive line, they ran the ball good. I wanted Tevin Jenkins or it was another offensive line I wanted to give Pittsburgh, but
Trey, you made a significant jump getting Elijah Moore there, man.
It wasn't a significant jump because if you look at Dane Bugler's mock draft, he's like one of the best people to do it on the web. He had Elijah Moore going to Jacksonville like in 25. So, and you can't teach speed, dog. Like you really can't.
No, I thought that was a great pick. That was a great pick. I thought Elijah Moore was a great pick too.
John Adam, my man, take it away, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate the love, Darian, on the Travis Etienne pick. You know what I'm saying? Real ones, no. Real recognize real. Yes, but I really like the pick of Christian Barmore. I think when you look at a team that he was probably, the best interior D lineman in the draft, it just wasn't a strong draft for them. But when you look at a team like the Bucks, who have literally everything, they were able to re-sign Ndamukong Suh on a 1-year deal, but he's not going to be there too much longer. I mean, they just have too much money allocated in other places. So you get his replacement in a first-round talent from the football factory in Alabama, and who better to sit behind than those dogs on that D-line and Shaq Barrett, Ndamukong Suh, Jason Pierre-Paul. So I think that was a really good pick. And they'll continue to fortify that defensive line for years to come. You could put him next to Vita Vea once Ndamukong Suh leaves.
Well, definitely loved every single pick, guys. Definitely thought everything was amazing. Des, this whole entire draft, we some drafted high, some maybe been drafted low, we had some significant falls. I think for our first SOS mock draft, this was really good. And I think it could be similar to the actual NFL draft that's going to come around next Friday. How do you think about the overall draft process?
So, man, I really enjoyed this, but I say this after watching being a part of, yesterday's, seeing this one and the first, I actually think this really was, and you said the heavy hitters was in this round. And I feel like this was probably the most interesting one because you really are having to break down these teams, really get an understanding of what these teams need, what the players bring to the table, and how they can fit long term. And so, Rod, really, I think this round right here was the round. This was the heavyweight fight right here, and I really enjoyed this one for sure.
No, definitely. Each guy definitely took the time. And I got to say one thing. Shout out to the entire team. Our first SOS mock draft, and it was a lot to have to sit down and get all these picks together, especially when they did not know who their other colleague was going to select. Even for you, Des, yesterday being a part of that, and you, SOS obviously, being, not knowing who the guy in front of you was going to select, that could be a big scary when it's similar to the actual NFL war room, having to be in there, having to say, man, what happens if they get this guy, and why does my backup guy make sense at this position? I think everyone in the SOS team pretty much covered that. It was a pleasure for me to come back after a while and host with these guys. And speaking of that, you can find Jonathan and Darian Gray on SOS Discussions every Friday. They're on that thing, doing that thing with Mia and Jamar. You can see Trey Stein and those dogs up there over there on My Point. Exactly. The great debate that is up in your face. Definitely loving that show. Me and Dez are going to be here. Y'all know we're going to chime in every chance we get. But it's been an awesome draft. We thank everyone for tuning in to the SOS 2021 mock draft. Be sure to go back, watch day 1, watch day 2, watch this one when it's ready, and be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, get tuned in to everything that SOS has to offer. Dez, you got any final words before we get out of here, man?
Hey, man, like I said, man, I'm glad to be here, man. Have fun with this. I can't wait to do the actual draft. First of all, I'm sick of hearing about it, to be honest with you. I'm so tired of hearing the same stuff over and over. Let's get it over. It's like, when Christmas is on the way. I'm just look, I know it's great and all, but I want my gifts. I want my gifts now. So that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So the crown prince of the NFC South, since you gave it to Darian Gray,
One day we're going to have an NFC South competition, man. We're going to sit y'all down, do a questionnaire and see who knows more over the 4 teams in that division. But I'll tell you one thing, no one knows more than these guys on SOS. It is the new wave of sports that is sweeping the nation, where we're not just accurate, but spot on. Shout out to the whole team. We will see you guys again April 29th. For the actual NFL draft. Tune in to our live show. Dez will be there. Chanel will be there. John, Trey, Mia, Jamar, everyone, the whole squad, and much more. We might have some guest appearances. We never know, but we'll see. Hey, we out, and we thank everybody for watching this show.